Greetings and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with Goth Tarot. It's the weekly exploration into shadow issues. We usually start at the beginning of the month with a main shadow issue, but other shadow issues may pop up over the course of the month. So let's get started, and we're going to start with an opening card oracle from the Oracle of the Hecatean Path. And I find that honoring Hecate is fitting and appropriate when we are working with shadow issues of shadow and light, darkness and light. So, as I said, we are going to start with this oracle. I'm just going to pick it the way I normally do. Epiphanous State Thea, most manifest goddess. Put that way. Got a little light reflections. There we go. Epiphanous State Thea, most manifest goddess, diversity. We no longer live in an ancient, romanticized world, and neither does the goddess. She is a goddess of all the ages. She is still relevant to her many followers today. Whether she comes to you as a virginal maiden or a wizened crone, animal-headed and primal, or ethereal and nurturing, she is still the goddess. Take the time to explore and understand her mysteries and forms. Find the balance between history and personal gnosis that influences your experience. And I think it's a good point to bring out that, in more pagan, possibly polytheist kind of religions and faiths, sometimes as part of the ancient mystery religions, it may be, and even, moving into the modern coven age, it may be that many people were taught that all gods or goddesses are basically reflections of each other and or the one god or goddess beyond all. I know it's a lot more complicated than that. I sort of believe that, deities have their own agency, but then I think they also kind of correspond to that energy like we're talking about here, that there are many forms. So even if you are insistent that, maybe Hecate or Isis has only one actual aspect, there may be within that aspect so much diversity that is worth exploring. All right, so we're going to leave it with that for the moment. And I'm going to take us to what we were talking about with the main issue for the month, and that was inner pain. And we began this work at the beginning of December with Banshee, and I'm going to review something right now. It's the wisdom from where this comes from, which is basically the Cries of the Soul Oracle. I am a box deep inside you that only you can open, and I contain a lot of painful things that you placed here, so you don't have to feel so much. When you are made to feel insignificant or powerless, or when you feel great disappointment, you hide these emotions away within me, so they disappear from your mind. You don't allow yourself to feel hurt or fully experience the moments in your life. I confidently embrace my internal torment. So this is devaluation of ourselves, that we feel that our pain or what we're going through isn't worthy of being noticed or even experienced directly by us, and so we shut it away into this little box, as it mentions. How are we dealing with this then, basically? How are we learning all of this, the wisdom and or the supplemental information we're getting here? I'm going to use the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot, and I'm going to try to hone in on that idea. What is the update, the progress to this? If I recall right, last week, it just didn't seem like some things were exactly working out. There might have been a little bit of homework to do to reconsider that. Remember, movement through shadow work is at your own progress. I am not here to tell you that you did well and you graduated or anything like that. What I am here for is to remind you that you can always review these particular workings. They're going to remain in the YouTube under the playlist for Goth Tarot or for Shadow Work. Feel free to write us at our email, tfttarotfortoday@gmail.com, and maybe we can talk to you about some of the other stuff going on. All right, so what is our progress with the shadow work? It's the Knight of Wands. And I think the Knight of Wands is telling us there may be some things we have to move quickly and embrace with confidence and bravery, and that addressing our inner pain calls for us to really step up and be brave and be the noble Knight of Wands, courageous. And even if we're not, we have to give it that show. We have to be willing to make a show of it, to say, I'm here to challenge. I'm here to challenge that. I'm here to address those issues of why I feel low self-esteem by projecting my energy and saying, no, I can do this. I will leave that there along with this one. So I think that's a good sign that we are doing better, especially if we can do this, if we can work ourselves towards striking forth in confidence and bravery. There's a lot of work to do, and it's not going to get done by itself. All right. Now, I'm going to work on some of the other shadow stuff that could be happening. These are possibly what I would consider to be adjacent issues. For one, we are going to talk about, once again, the dark avatar. What is the dark avatar? The dark avatar is how we represent or project ourselves in a persona kind of way, as a way of distinguishing ourselves. We create an archetype and we say, this is us. And in the case of the dark avatar, this avatar is kind of like who we say is doing those things that project the shadow aspects we're working with. So, for example, this avatar is the one who is dealing with their low self-esteem or other situations. And so we can kind of use it as once again, a detour deflection point. So I'm using the Lost Soul Tarot. There it is. And the Lost Soul Tarot has beautiful major arcana and court cards, which I isolate and use for this reading here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Knowing the dark avatar may give us a clue as to how to address what these issues are by understanding how we disguise it or pretend it's something else. What is that dark avatar? And it's reversed strength. I'm going to move this one for now, I think. I think we'll put it down over here. All right, so it's the reversed strength. This dark avatar says, I can put all of those actions that I really want to do, but maybe I'm shy about doing them because of my inner pain, but pretend it's something else, and that something else is a more aggressive personality. It's over that way. When we have strength reversed, we feel like we will just force our way through the issues. And so an example would be just trying to basically avoid altogether when anybody challenges us on what our shadow issue is. We can't confront it if we just basically push it off by being uber assertive or aggressive ourselves, and the one way I've heard of it is people who say, what if we were all trapped at the North Pole? We don't have time to deal with other issues. We have to do this issue instead because we're trapped at the North Pole. Well, you're trapped in your avatar then, perhaps. Anyway, I don't have a lot more to say about that, but I think your dark avatar is over aggressiveness, is being somebody who maybe you try to be a bully in order to hide or distract from how it's actually destroying yourself. You don't want anyone else to help you necessarily. Bingo moment here. So you are the bully that keeps them away. So you can continue to keep your inner pain in a box. We will now move on to the dark trick. What are actual tricks, lies, deceit? How are we using those to shore up what the dark avatar is trying to do, bully, but basically hide, control the information about what we're doing, what we're up to? What is the dark trick? It's the Ten of Wands reversed. And maybe in the dark trick, we're trying to say we are part of the good thing. We're helping release this burden. We're helping figure out how to resolve obligations or tasks to do that are rough on us, etc., blah, blah, blah. And so we're trying to say, use outright deceit, really, to say, no, this is something else going on. It's not about what we're doing. In a way, it's kind of like the bully card, strength reversed. But you may be using the trick of saying, we are on the right side here. We are trying to make it better. Don't get in our way. All right. How can we reconcile these problems? The urge to be a bully or to be over aggressive and tamp down resistance, or people trying to question because they're trying to help us. How do we figure out how to look at ourselves and put it really in the honest perspective? What are we doing? Are we really relieving burdens or obligations, or are we just creating a parallel set that will just have to also be dealt with at some point? What is the dark horizon? The horizon where things equal out and we figure out how we can go to bed at night knowing we resolved the issue, the sun setting, that kind of thing. I'm going to use the possibly appropriately named Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. And the card I pull represents the dark horizon, giving us maybe a clue of some sort as to how we're going to resolve this stuff. And it's another reverse card. It's the reversed Four of Pentacles. We resolve this by being unselfish in how we give up those things that we're holding on to. There's a lot of things that we're holding on to. That's the point of the inner pain. Like the Knight of Wands, I suggested we need to just really freely and boldly approach that. And what that means per the Four of Pentacles is there are things we have to confront boldly and bravely and give up. Let them go. It is about releasing the burdens, the dark trick, but it's doing it in a way that really makes sense, that we're not doing falsely by claiming we're doing this for the good of everybody. We're doing it because it really needs to be done. We're doing it for ourselves. We know this will be progress. It will help us grow if we can start deleting this garbage we have. I hope that makes sense in a way. I know a lot of times shadow work is just sort of going over the issues from maybe different angles and reinforcing, where your codependencies or other things are kicking in and making you have resistance or create boundaries that you don't let anyone in to help, things like that. Alrighty, I want to conclude by giving us a last card with affirmation from the Dark Light Oracle. Next week will be week 4, so we'll tie things up with inner pain, and that will include a longer meditation at the end from the Secret Language of Darkness Oracle set. They have some really good, longer, deeper guided meditations that I think are helpful. So we'll see what that gives us. The following Wednesday is still December. It's December 31st, New Year's Eve. And that day was sacred to Hecate in some traditions. So we're going to ask Hecate what she wants us to look at as we are moving into the new year. What is she going to tell us that we should be watching for? And this will be less about shadow work and more about working with the Queen of Shadows, Hecate. All right, no more delays. Let's do this. Alrighty. It's autumn. It doesn't have to go this way. There it is, autumn. I think I would like it better if it was down here. So let's put it right over there. It's a little closer. Number 13. Is it that scary? The leaves have turned from green to brown. Everything is maturing and turning gold. It's an inescapable stage of life. Are you afraid of autumn? Are you scared of Halloween? Black cats, witches, spells, and mysteries? Well, you shouldn't be. Autumn will surely make you older, but it also will grow you wiser. You must accept this period of changes. Take a moment of rest. Let whatever it is that you don't understand reveal its secrets. Do not let fear stop you. Things are scary only if you believe they are. But if you learn to accept and let go, then you will be able to deeply enjoy the magic of life. Affirmation. I accept what I don't understand. I let things mature. I learn to master my fear every day a little more. I grow wiser. So that's wrapping up our work for the week. I think that some of the stuff is scary to realize that we're holding on to things and we don't feel anyone can really help us deal with them. So we create more ways of keeping people away from us, keeping some pain inside us, but keeping people away who want to help us. We look at the Knight of Wands, though, and it tells us that there is a truth there, that we do really have to be brave, like Autumn told us to, and confront these issues, but don't necessarily deny those that may be trying to help. Think about what those other qualities are, and remember, a lot of this will involve how you are able to really process that inner stuff and delete the garbage, get rid of it. That inner pain you're holding on to is bad excuses, and you can get rid of it. You just have to figure out what it is and stop it when you see it happening. It takes work. So until next time, don't forget to watch the live show tomorrow night. It's on at 7 to 9 p.m. TFT After Dark. And we'll answer any questions, so check it out. Friday morning brings my Emotional Exchanges, which is a lighter toned show about our love lives and our emotional relationships of any sorts. Saturday will be Happy Hour, and that will be at 10 a.m. And that's a live show, so come to see us get a happy card, no questions asked, but happy messages. Sunday brings Banshee's Material Matters, another recording. We're live in the chat room for that. Sundays at 10 a.m. That's a full reading for the Zodiac on your material matters. And then we're back for our final live stream of the week on Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. So thank you everybody for coming. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.